Hi, David. How are you?
Hi, Roni. Nice to meet
You too.
you.
Thank you so much for coming to People in Legal.
Thank you.
Newlaw. We had a bit of a conversation, but tell the viewers, what's Newlaw about?
Well, we're a consultancy and we advise law firms on what their future tech stack should be, what they can improve with their current tech stack. Essentially, we do the due diligence when it comes to their product selection and how it's implemented.
And so with the market being very crowded and, lots of players, what differentiates Newlaw from other providers?
Well, we're primarily a platform agnostic, and you've hit the nail on the head. You'll have someone who implements a particular product, and every solution you need to use that product. We take the client through a journey, we explore what will suit them, and then we choose the best stack. We build out the project timeline, and then we implement, and then we support them moving forward.
So what if a client doesn't know what they don't know?
We know what they don't know. This just comes from a virtue of doing hundreds of implementations, being on site, knowing what the pain points are. We can foresee the problems, and those problems can be integration related. Like, they buy two products, they think they're going to work in a particular way, but we know they don't, or they work in a different way. We shortcut something that would take years for them of actually running the product to learn itself.
Amazing. So we talked briefly before around the A to Z. So you kind of handhold from the start to the end.
Well, there is no end.
Well,
so from initial analysis of what will actually add efficiency to them, we're very efficiency focused, to selection, to vendor negotiations, because they're challenged, to implementation, data migration, which is a very complex part, and then supporting them. But they usually bring us back every time they want to do something substantive. Like we are a 100-user personal injury firm in Queensland, and we think that we can go into other states and do this. How do we do this? We want a portal for our clients, or we want to offer something that we don't know how it would work from a systems perspective.
Yeah.
Do we buy _𝗀𝗁? Do we buy 𝗀𝗵𝗋? Do we buy Parachute? What do we buy? How do we weave it all together?
Yeah. Yeah. So you're that safe pair of hands, essentially, that will.
That's right. We're the common sense check.
I love that.
I'll sometimes get a principal of a firm and they just be like, David, will this work? Is this possible?
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to say not yet. The technology is in there.
Yeah.
I'll have someone call me and be like, can I replace all my staff yet with an agentic workflow? No, not quite.
And that honesty, though, I'm sure is a huge commodity, right? They coming to you for real advice.
Absolutely. And look, we even take the approach, aside from being there with the law firms, every product I use deeply. I don't practice law in the conventional sense, but I'm still a lawyer, and I would take a case for a friend and I would run it through 𝗀𝗁 or Parachute, or,
sure.
To make sure, is it kind of hitting? Because especially with the hundreds of AI solutions now, for a lawyer, it's very hard to tell the difference between Claude, 𝗀𝗵𝗿, 𝗀𝗁, until you actually see it with a real case.
Absolutely.
Do that common sense check. And then we kind of deal with the vendors to say, hey, to really test your system, we need a private environment for a client to take one of their closed matters and run it through to see if the outputs actually make sense. Because realistically, you can without a real case that the client knows, there's no way for them to judge if it's giving them the information they need.
So you talked about being platform agnostic. What about your typical client? Are you agnostic when it comes to clients you service?
We are, but what we find that most of our clients end up planting is between about 30 users and about 200. And it seems like wow, that's a really big range. But these days, a 30 user wants the same thing as a 200 user. It's just with a 200 user, the rollout is a lot more complex. The training is a lot more complex. But a large firm, a 200 user law firm, doesn't have a 200 user family law team. They might have a 10 user family law team, 10 user commercial team. And sometimes we have to kind of mix and match. So you might not be able to get a PMS that covers every single area. You've got a 2-person conveyancing team. Let's get them a conveyancing product that will actually work for just that team and keep them happy. I guess the big takeaway we do is, the big thing that we focus on is, what are you losing when you're moving from wherever you are? You are an all-in-one system like Affinity. You're building out this new tech stack. What are the potential friction points? What are you losing first? Because clients assume that when I buy my new systems, it'll be everything I have plus. while really it's all a set of trades.
And what's your typical lead time going from that 30 to 200 user? What would that potentially look like?
Well, we like to do the due diligence up front. So we would spend a couple of months with the client, speaking to their staff, and not just the management, but also what are the pain points the paralegals have, the lawyers. Because if you're a partner and you say, do a brief to a barrister for me, and then you get it, and you go, change some of these documents. To you, it's 2 requests. To the person doing it, it could be 6 hours of hiding. So we do that analysis. We put together, this is where we can see the efficiency gain. These parts of your stack are great, just leave them. These parts of your stack need to be replaced. This is a timeline, this is a pain point, and we build out a 12 to 24 month timeline and we execute.
Beautiful. And how long did you say you've been with the company?
Well, I started the company, but we're a decade in now.
A decade, oh my God, okay. So how have you found, our final question, how have you found it over the last 10 years?
It's exciting. Now's the most exciting time. So for a while it was, we have to get a new PMS because our old server's dead. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? Like it's more expensive for us, kind of the move from managing your own server to the cloud. And then you try to find some efficiency in the software because most people don't use most of their functionality in their software. Now it's like, what are we doing for CRM? Where's our marketing company going to work? What's our AI strategy? What's our cybersecurity strategy? It's like, it's in the last maybe 2-3 years, it's really opened up and people see like, we can't be competitive in 10 years unless we really bedded this down.
Yeah,
we need to, even with marketing, we need to have, CRM, we have a lever that we can push. Like with Google AdWords or LinkedIn posts, we need a lever that we can push when we have capacity, and we need to be able to pull back.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like a wonderful journey that you're on, and long may it continue for the next decade and beyond. Thank you so much, David. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure.